All right. Hi, my friends. Today we're going to be talking about finding a comfortable seat. There are times in a yoga class or at home you might be doing some meditation where you want to sit on the ground, but you want to make sure that you're comfortable so that you can sustain a seat. So my friend Kathy, hi Kathy, is going to help me demonstrate a few things today. So the first thing that we want to do is make sure that you have adequate padding. There are two different kinds of seats that we're going to talk about today. The first one is a cross-legged pose. And you're going to want to start with some sort of cushioning, a blanket or a pillow. Most of you have some sort of throw blanket at home, and that can be really helpful. So this doesn't provide too much padding. A lot of times we like to fold up to give our hips a little bit of leverage in a cross-legged seat. So Kathy's going to go ahead and come and have a cross-legged seat, and you'll see I'm going to have her scooch a little bit further forward. And then with cross-legged, what you want to think about in the cross-legged is that the legs are not stacked right on top of each other, but more one in front of the other. So we usually sit cross-legged where they're kind of tucked up. We're going to try and bring our legs so that they are one in front of the other. So you have a little triangular space between your shins and your pubic bone. So once she's got that seat established, you want to make sure that her hips are above, the tops of the hip bones are above or slightly in front of. So I'm going to have her exaggerate here. Go ahead and tip your belly back, Kathy. So if you're sitting where you feel kind of rounded and your back's a little bit strained, you're just going to need a little bit more elevation. Another option that Kathy uses a lot is to sit on a block sideways. So go ahead and adjust that so that feels better. That feels good? So you'll notice with that, that's usually the seat that she takes. Her knees have dropped down a little bit. Go ahead and move your hand for a second. Her knees have dropped down a little bit. She has a little more space, a little bit broader base, and she's able to sustain this for a period of time. So bring your hands to a comfortable place on your lap. Is this what you would normally sit at for meditation?
Yeah.
Okay, so you'll notice that she has natural curves in her back. Maybe you can't quite see it from that angle, but you want a little bit of a lumbar curve so that the belly kind of sways forward slightly, but just the natural way, and then the thoracic curve back, and she's going to reach through the top of her head. And this is something that's easy and comfortable and sustainable. So the next position, which is something that I typically choose, because when I sit in cross-legged position, it can sometimes hurt my hips, or if you have any knee issues and cross-legged external rotation doesn't feel good, sometimes kneeling can be better. So go ahead and climb off. And what we're going to do now is have her come into a kneeling position, but I'm going to take a block underneath her sits bone. So go ahead and come back into a kneeling position so that you're facing the same direction that you were before. There you go. And you'll notice that her feet are hanging. Go ahead and adjust the block so that it works for you. So her feet are hanging off the edge here. So that just creates a little bit less extension and pressure on her ankle joints. She's got some cushioning underneath her knees for her shins. And you'll also notice a little bit, again, pull your arm forward just a little bit so they can see your curve. So she has a natural, nice lumbar curve here in her back. And that can create a lot more space, and the hips are symmetrical. The other thing that you want to think about is having the knees straight out in front and the shins coming underneath the thighs. So oftentimes when we're sitting, I will see kind of this is exaggerated, where the feet are out to the sides and the knees are turned in. You really want to make sure that your heels are underneath your sits bones and your legs go straight out from the hips. She might go ahead and lift up. Some of you can even take a block and bring it a little bit higher and have a seat. And both of her sits bones sit comfortably on that. That creates a little more elevation, little less flexion in the knees as well. So really it's just about finding a comfortable seat for you. So whenever you hear a teacher say, come into a comfortable seat, these are the things that you want to think about. You want elevation, ease in the back, and comfort. Sustain. Okay? All right. Thanks.